We're back. This time we're taking a look at the Month 2 Resistance is Futile OP prize. This one's Korok's Bird of Prey, also known as Assimilated Vessel 80279. And we'll get right in and take a look. This one comes with a standard Borg class dial, even though the one version of it is a multi-faction Borg and Klingon. So that's cool because you can use it just with your regular Klingon stuff. It has a standard Borg class maneuver dial. Got that red 3 come about. Exact same as the other Borrells that we've had so far, nothing different there. As with the other assimilated ships, you have two, the assimilated version and the regular version, and they are named in a generic of each. First up we have Korok's Bird of Prey. 4 attack, 1 agility, 3 hull, 3 shield. 1 tech, 2 weapon, and a crew upgrade for 22 points. We have evasive, target lock, cloak, and sensor echo. And our named ability is when you initiate an attack at range 1 while cloaked, your opponent rolls 1 less defense die. You cannot deploy this ship to the same fleet as the Assimilated Vessel 80279 because they're the same ship. Then we have our generic Borg class. You lose 1 shield, you lose the tech slot for 20 points. Next we have the Assimilated Vessel 80279, which is Borg and Klingon faction. 5 attack, 1 agility, 3 hull, 4 shield. You have a Borg upgrade, tech upgrade, 2 weapon upgrades, and a crew upgrade for 26 points. You have evasive, target lock, cloak, and sensor echo as our actions. And when attacking during the modify attack dice step, you can spend up to 3 drone tokens. Choose any of your attack dice and re-roll them, even if they've been re-rolled already. Always nice to have that way to increase your dice quality and make those attacks hit. And we have our generic Assimilated Vessel. Again, dual faction. This time you're losing 1 shield, and you lose the tech upgrade for 24 points. For captains, we have Korok. Captain skill is 6, 1 elite talent for 4 points. And his ability is when you initiate an attack against the ship at range 1, at the start of the deal damage step of the combat phase, you can disable an active shield on the target ship if possible. Basically get you 1 extra hit in there. It's disabled, not destroyed, so they do come back, but still a nice thing to have. Definitely useful for any Klingon ship. Next we have the Borg version of Korok. Since they have the same name and they're both unique, you can only use one or the other. He starts with a 6 drone tokens, so the equivalent of a captain skill is 6, for 4 points. And when you inflict damage to an opponent's hull during the deal damage step, you can spend a drone token to convert a normal damage into a critical. Kind of a neat little ability. Combine that with something to let you regenerate those drone tokens, and can definitely be useful. For our elite talent, we have Warrior Spirit, 4 points. When attacking at the end of the deal damage step, you may discard this card to roll 2 dice. Each hit or critical result damages the defending ship as normal. For each blank result or battle stations, your ship suffers 1 normal damage to its hull. This roll cannot be modified, and the defending ship does not get to roll defense dice against this damage. Upgrade can be purchased for a Klingon captain. Interesting idea. It's if you have a way to repair your own ship, it's worth the risk. It gives you a possible 2 extra hits in at the cost of a chance of hurting yourself in the process. Interesting concept though. The discard for 4 points being the limitation that it has to hurt yourself, I think is a little overpriced, but it could help you in a make or break situation. Definitely if you have a way to regenerate those in case you damage yourself is really the thing to keep in mind. For weapon upgrades, you get photon torpedoes. The ship I got here is actually a friend of mine, it's not mine, and it didn't come with the photon torpedo card, so this is one out of a previous expansion, but it's the exact same wording as the one that came with it. So the picture on yours may look a little different. 5 points. Attack value of 5, range 2 to 3. Requires a target lock and a disable. You can convert one of your battle stations into a critical. It can be fired from your front or rear arc. Just a standard photon torpedo. For tech upgrades, we have Data Node. This one's actually Borg faction for 3 points. And at the start of the game, place 3 mission tokens on this card. Each time you defend during the roll attack dice step, you can discard 1 mission token from this card to force your opponent to roll 1 less attack die. No ship can be equipped with more than 1 Data Node tech upgrade. Kind of interesting that they specified the tech upgrade, as in, I wonder if there's going to be a Data Node Borg upgrade or something similar later, just the way it's worded. It's an interesting way to lower the attack on incoming attacks. Reusable a couple times, so I think in the end it's worth its 3 points. Definitely if the attack that's hitting you has some sort of special effect as well. You can use these to lower the amount of dice they roll and less their chance of getting a hit in. For Borg upgrades, we have the Vinculum, 5 points. As an action, you can disable this card to repair 1 damage to your hull or shield. Or as an action, you can disable this card to target your ship and every friendly Borg ship within range 1 to 2 of your ship. Add 1 drone token to every ship's captain card. No ship can exceed its starting number of tokens. Really cool thing. I like the fact that it's a disable, so it's reusable. You could use it to repair, which goes in well with things like Warrior Spirit. And you can use it to regenerate tokens, which goes well with pretty much any Borg captain. For the rest of the expansion, we have our 4 shield tokens. We have 2 disable tokens. Target lock S1. We have our critical and auxiliary power token. Cloak and evasive. We have our various drone tokens. They've been around for a while, so I'm not really going to go into them too well. You actually have a spare base for the ship because it has 2 bases, one for each of the name versions and the generic versions on the flip side. Was an OP prize pack, so there's no scenario this time around. The ship is the same bird of prey that we've had for a while now. Different paint scheme on it. You have these darker areas that don't want to show up on the camera too well, but they're supposedly the Borg upgrades to the ship. They have these lighter panels on the wings here. Overall, it's the same ship though. I've seen some people do some really cool things with like green stuff to add on actual raised things for the Borg upgrades instead of just having them painted on there. For comparison, you can see there this is slightly different paint color scheme than the standard bird of prey. First we have Korok's bird of prey base here. 90-degree front, 90-degree rear arc. And we have our standard generic Burrell class. 90-degree front arc, no rear arc. I think it's one of the few ships that has a rear arc on the named but not on the generic. Then we have our Assimilated Vessel 80279, 90-degree front arc, 90-degree rear arc. And our generic Assimilated Burrell class with the same 90-degree front, 90-degree rear. Overall, it's a decent expansion pack if you're playing Borg or Klingons. It's another Burrell class you can never go wrong with for the Klingons. If you use the named or generic of the Assimilated Vessel, you get some boosted stats over your standard Burrell class, which is nice. Upgrade wise, there's nothing spectacular in here. Data node's kind of interesting. It's a Borg upgrade though, so unless you're playing one of the multi-faction ships, you're going to be paying an extra penalty for it. Warrior Spirit has its uses. Korok's a good captain. Definitely, as far as the mid-range Klingon captains go, he's worth having around. You can see him getting used in a lot of Vorcha fleets. You see a lot of 4 Vorcha fleets nowadays. Overall, it's a decent pack. Like I said, nothing must-have in here, which is, I think, the way all the prize packs should be. But definitely worth picking up if you're interested in Klingons or if you're playing Borg and you just want some other options. Anyway, that's it for this one. We'll see you in the next video.